What's up everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Ranked Ladder is about to drop in Scarlet and Violet, which means it's time to start assembling your teams, preparing your strategies, and giving yourself the best possible chance to reach the top of the in-game ladder. With that in mind, I thought that it was a pretty good time for us to go over 5 super powerful combinations of Pokemon that you can use to steamroll your way through a lot of your opponents, or at least be prepared for if you're not into the whole hyper offense thing. And hey, if you're new here, make sure that you're subscribed and ring the bell to be notified for all of my upcoming VGC videos. First off, I want to talk about one of the most hyped up duos we've seen so far, Dontdozo and Tatsugiri. This wombo combo works because of Tatsugiri's ability, Commander. Basically, if Dontdozo and Tatsugiri are on the field at the same time, the Tatsugiri will go into the Dontdozo's mouth, effectively making the battle a 1v2. But in exchange, the Dontdozo will get +2 to all of its stats, except for evasion. This allows Dontdozo to hit like an absolute truck with moves like Wave Crash and Order Up. Paired with an Assault Vest, Dontdozo is also capable of taking hits for days. On top of everything else, Dontdozo has the ability Unaware, so even an Iron Defensed Garganacl isn't surviving a full power Wave Crash from this monster. If you want to take this tactic to another level, you can go even deeper by adding a Flamigo with the ability Co-Star to your team. This ability allows Flamigo to copy all of the stat boosts on its partner when it enters the field. It's a little bit hard to orchestrate because of the way that Tatsugiri kind of becomes in limbo when it enters the mouth of the Dontdozo, but you could use Endure to take some hits on the Tatsugiri before Dontdozo comes in, and maybe even pair it with a Toxic Orb to allow the Tatsugiri to faint after giving the boosts to the Dontdozo. That would allow you an open spot on the field to bring the Flamigo in. Whether or not you like this strategy, it's definitely one that you should be ready for. It's probably the most popular single duo that's been on the unofficial ladder so far, so I definitely think a lot of the content creators will be doing early videos with this and probably giving out rental codes, so it's probably gonna be a pretty common combo to at least be prepared for. Are you a new VGC player looking to get into the game but unsure of where to start? Well, boy, do I have a tip for you. I'm going to be running a seminar on all the best tools available to us as VGC players and going into how best to use each one. This little shindig will be going down on December 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern in its own little Discord server. If you're interested but can't make it, the whole thing will be recorded for anybody who signs up as well. Hope to see some of you there, and on with the show. If you played Sword and Shield VGC, then you're definitely familiar with the infamous Regigigas Wheezing combo. Some of you are getting really excited right now, and some people just turned off the video and ran away. But now that they're gone, I can show you one of my favorite new combos, Slacking and Grafaiai. The idea here is really quite simple. Grafaiai has Prankster, which gives its Doodle priority. Doodle is a new move that copies one of your opponent's abilities onto both of your Pokemon. This means that Slacking's awful Truant ability is replaced by something else. The main goal here is just to get rid of Truant. Even if you give it a useless ability like Klutz, it's still totally worth it. But you get bonus style points if you copy something like Huge Power or Intimidate. Slacking has crazy stats and can dish out tons of damage. It's also got a pretty good amount of coverage options on top of Terra Blast for any additional type you might require. Throwing an Assault Vest on it makes it even harder to remove, and with Drain Punch, your Slacking can heal itself up over and over again. Grafaiai also gets a fair few support moves. Priority Parting Shot, Leer, Taunt, and Knockoff are all really good moves to run next to Doodle. Coming up next, we have Torkoal and Flutter Main. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys, this one is a little bit of a cop-out because honestly Torkoal plus any of the past Paradox Pokemon can kind of take this spot, but Flutter Main is the most common right now. Basically, the past Paradox Pokemon have an ability called Photosynthesis, which boosts their highest stat when they're in the sun. Flutter Main, for example, has an incredibly high special attack stat as well as an incredibly high speed stat. You could run a modest spread on a Flutter Main to get crazy high special attack, or Timid Nature to make sure that it's faster than pretty much everything else. A modest Flutter Main can dish out crazy damage with its Spread Dazzling Gleams, especially if it terastallizes into the Fairy type. As if all of that wasn't enough, Game Freak decided to give Torkoal access to Helping Hand in these games, so Flutter Main can go even crazier. Roaring Moon can act as a super awesome hyper-offensive Torkoal partner as well, and the best part is that these duos can fit into a ton of archetypes, so definitely try them out. Initially, I rated Armarouge and Ceruledge pretty low on my tier list, and while I do stand by my Ceruledge rating for now, Rouge is actually looking like it has a pretty interesting niche in this format. For everyone that enjoyed clicking Expanding Force last generation, did you know that it's actually still in the game? Indeedee and the other psychic types may not have access to it anymore, but Rouge does. It's Rouge's signature move in Gen 9, and with a base special attack of 125, Expanding Force on terrain is a force to be reckoned with. Force? Like expand... I'm funny. While there isn't really a developed meta right now, a lot of people are focused on the super fast hard hitters in the format, which opens the door for Trick Room teams to rise up. Rouge is a great offensive option for these teams, and it can set its own Trick Room. It can even terrestrialize into the Psychic type to be able to nuke things even harder with Expanding Force, or it can terrestrialize into the Fire type if you're running Trick Room with a Torkoal. That can also be crazy damage output. Or even use it defensively to be able to have a little more survivability against the Dark and the Ghost types in the format. Quick honorable mentions go to basically any fast offensive Pokemon paired with Xianpao or Chi-Yu. These two Pokemon lower all other Pokemon's defense and special defense respectively. It's not a one-time thing either. It's an aura, so there's no switching out of it. You basically need to be ready for your opponents to do 25% more damage than you're expecting. These two mons are super strong, and I highly recommend trying them out. You really need to make sure that you're prepared for these two. They're gonna be around a lot. Finally, it's time for me to introduce you to my single favorite Wombo combo that we've discovered so far. Annihilape and Mousehold. Let me start with Mousehold. It gets some of the best supportive utility in the game, with Friend Guard and Follow Me. These two things were enough to make Clefairy a consistently relevant Pokemon for years in Gen 8. For this combo though, we're talking about Mousehold's signature move, Population Bomb. This is a multi-hit move that can hit up to 10 times, and has a 90% chance to hit all 10 times if you're holding a wide lens. Annihilape, on the other side, has a signature move called Rage Fist, which increases in power by 50 for every time it's been hit in battle. You see where we're going with this, don't you? This is a permanent increase, even if it switches out. Now, if you terrestrialize your Annihilape away from the Ghost type into, let's say, Steel, your Mousehold can now hit the Annihilape 10 times. Now your Annihilape has a move with 550 base power. You just saw an Annihilape one-shot a Wo-Chien, which resists the hit, and also lowers Annihilape's attack by 25%. Annihilape does not care. It also gets Defiant and Inner Focus as two of its abilities, so you can't even intimidate it. The best part about any new generation of Pokemon is the sheer number of brand new strategies, combos, and interactions out there just waiting to be discovered. Let me know in the comments which Pokemon you're the most excited to try out when the ladder drops on December 1st, and make sure that you like, subscribe, and ring the bell to be notified when the next video goes out. I hope you all are having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, whatever it is, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you guys next time.